As a Nigerian, one of the biggest problems I've faced has been traveling the world. Anybody who's a Nigerian who is watching this understands what I'm saying. But despite that problem, I've been able to travel to over 25 countries. And in this video, I want to share with you guys how I've been able to do that. So let's jump right in. So guys, first of all, I'm currently in Madeira right now. Madeira is an island off the coast of Portugal. It's kind of like close to Africa, but just check out the view behind me. There's water there. Don't worry, I have a video coming very soon. But let's jump into how I've been able to travel the world, even though my passport is one of the hardest to use to travel across the world. First off, let me pull up this website called Passport Index. It's a website used to show ranking of different passports and their strengths. If you look at it, Nigerian passport currently ranks 84. And you can only travel to 24 visa-free countries. Just look at this map. Look at how red it is. These are all the places you can't travel to. But how have I managed to do it? For me, my journey with travel started in 2018. The first country I ever traveled to was Russia. And Russia, I'm sure you're wondering why Russia. That was because they were doing the World Cup then and there wasn't need for visa during that period. So I got a chance to travel to Russia. This first trip was what spurred what you see on my channel today. It opened my eyes to the potential and opportunities that existed out there. And this was the period where I now decided that I wanted to start making more travel videos because I realized that the world was such a big place and there were so many things happening out there that I wanted to document and I also wanted to experience. So how have I been able to travel the world even though I own one of the hardest passports to use to travel? Number one, what I did when I started was to start with low-hanging fruits. And when I say low-hanging fruits, I mean the visa-free countries. So my first journey after I came back from Russia was to go to Kenya. I went to Kenya, I documented it, made videos about it, and then eventually from there, I now went to Ghana. Those two countries back then, they didn't need visa. Ghana still doesn't need visa, but Kenya needs visa now. I traveled to Benin Republic. I also traveled to Tanzania too. So I started with those countries that I don't need visa for. And that even made me even understand what travel was. I basically got more experience with traveling by traveling to those countries. From there, I was now able to get my South African visa. The South African visa is probably the strongest visa or one of the strongest visas, if not the strongest visa to get in Africa. That was the first visa that was like stamped on my passport and I got it on the first try, luckily for me. A lot of people always wait because they want to travel to the US or they want to travel to the UK, but it's difficult for them to give you a visa when you've never traveled anywhere before. When you guys were able to sit down and just make videos, now you're enjoying them. This is how people make videos. So yeah, when I was applying for my US visa, the first question they asked me was, how many countries have you traveled to? And that's why I said start with low-hanging fruits, because your travel history is very important for you to get more visas in the future. My travel history really helped me because when they said, how many countries have you traveled to? I just started listing plenty countries. Oh, I've been here, I've been here, I've been here. And then the lady was now, okay, hold up. But if I didn't travel to those African countries that I traveled to first, I would have had limited countries to mention because I just got my US visa this year. There's a dog, there's an annoying dog barking. Sorry about the dog barking, but I just got my US visa this year in March, and that was the first time I was ever applying for a US visa, and I got it. And the main reason I got it was because of my travel history. Ooh! Reach out to brands. If you are somebody who wants to travel and kind of like get paid to do what I do, you need to reach out to brands ahead of time. For example, one of the brands that has been a long-time sponsor of this channel and of today's video is a company called Surfshark VPN. And I'm not just saying that because they gave me some money to talk about them in this video, which they actually did. I always have an active yearly Surfshark subscription on my phone at every point in time. Not only because of the protection it gives me from accessing public Wi-Fi's like the one you see at the airport, but also because it gives me access to any show on Netflix that I want to watch, even though I'm in a country where such show is unavailable. One of my favorite shows on Netflix at the moment is a movie called The Blue Eye Samurai, which I recommend you should watch, by the way. Imagine you were living in a country where you couldn't access this. This is where Surfshark comes in. It gives you access to watching any movie you want on Netflix in any country you might be. The great part about Surfshark VPN is that they have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose by signing up on the platform. If you want to sign up to Surfshark VPN, use the code SOFTIRE that you can see on the screen. You get up to 6 additional months if you use this code, and you can also sign up by using the code in the description below. Now let's jump right back into the video. I'm just seated on my, I don't know what this is, but it's like my open, it's like a balcony where it has a really nice view. And this is my apartment. It's a really nice apartment. It's a penthouse apartment, 4th story with a nice view of the ocean on this side and a nice view of the city on this side. So I kind of like have 2 balconies. I'll show you guys the full tour of this apartment on the next video that is coming very soon. But I think this video is just kind of like, let me show you guys what I'm up to. Whew. As you guys can see now, I'm in a penthouse in Madeira with a really nice view of the ocean. But back then, I didn't even have a chance to stay in these kind of places. I stayed in like some of the cheapest places ever. Even up to now, I still try to stay in cheap places, but it's just that my taste buds have, has increased over the years. So these days I want to stay in somewhere comfortable. But I try to live as frugally as possible. When I started traveling, I didn't even used to buy clothes till like last year, because all my money was going into like funding all my trips. Because one of the most important things for me is freedom to explore the world, freedom to go and experience new cultures. So I didn't spend money on anything that wasn't involved in getting gear, which is what I used to film the videos that you guys see. As you guys have seen in many of my videos, I always do this thing where I just say
I set a budget of $1,000, which I would make sure not to go over.
Most people when they travel, they don't spend $1,000, they spend a lot more than that. But me keeping my expenses as cheap as possible allowed me to travel to more places. So for example, if I had $5,000, I can use $5,000 to travel to, let's say, 4 countries, as compared to somebody who has $5,000 and they can only travel to 1 country. That way I've seen more of the world than that person. Another thing that living frugally also helps you do is it helps you save enough money. There's this thing they call proof of funds. The more money you have in the bank, the more likely it is for you to get a visa whenever you apply for it. So as long as you can show that you have a lot of money coming in and going out, and you just have enough money to take care of yourself, because what the embassies want to know is that they want to make sure that you have enough money to take care of yourself. They don't want you to come to the country and then become like a liability. All the nice things you guys see, you have to close your eye. If you're seeing people living a very expensive lifestyle, first of all, you don't even know where they're getting money from. Secondly, you don't have it. So just close your eye to that. Don't look at them. Focus on where you are going to and try to live as cheaply as possible. At the end of the day, when it comes to like people who live expensive lifestyle, it's good. Money is good. I want to be able to afford whatever I want. But I think at the end of the day, trying to spend your money to impress people doesn't serve you in the long run, because like, why? Why are you bothered? Save your money and use it to travel and experience the world. The memories, the experiences that you gain from those trips, the wealth of knowledge, the people you meet, there's no price that you can put on that. Yeah. Woo. I got a nice apartment, but before I didn't have access to this kind of apartment. Another cool one too is to make friends with as many people as possible worldwide. The more friends you have in many places, the more you can travel to those places and not spend money on accommodation. It might sound self-seeking or it might sound some type of way, but the more people you can build a relationship with, first of all, the more family you have across the world. If you're ever traveling to a place and you need maybe some sort of support, they can always render it. So for me now, I've traveled to so many countries and I've made many friends there. So if I'm going back there anytime in the future, it's just much easier, because then I have people that I can call and be like, oh, if I'm going to London, my last trip to London, I called my friend and I was like, okay, I wanted to come and stay in your place. I stayed in this place. Even when I was in New York, I stayed in my friend's place too. Another good part about making friends with people too is also the fact that those friends would kind of like tell you where to go and where not to go. They would help you avoid tourist traps. Tourist traps are, when you travel to a place and then you have to pay exorbitant amounts of money for something that should have just been cheap. So making friends is also another thing to take note of. This is just a very random and lazy vlog. But yeah, I think in general, why I'm making this video is very different from what I usually make, because most of my videos are very highly produced. But I feel like there's a wealth of knowledge that I have that a lot of people can gain from. Like, I don't know if this video would inspire somebody out there to travel more. I think the whole point of traveling is to see the world. A lot of people have this mindset that you need to have a lot of money to travel. You don't necessarily need to have a lot of money to travel. If your mindset is to travel and see the world, you can start with somewhere that is in your neighborhood. You don't need to travel to America. You don't need to travel to UK before you see the world. You can go next door. If you live in Nigeria, you can go to Benin Republic. If you live in South Africa, you can go to Botswana. If you live in Kenya, you can go to Tanzania and just explore. There's so much of the world to see and there's so much of the world to learn. We don't necessarily always have to fly across the ocean before we know that we've actually traveled. And That is how my journey started. My travel across the world hasn't been always smooth. I've had so many issues over the years. When I traveled to Ethiopia, I got arrested. It said I had drugs in my stomach, that I needed to use the toilet in front of everybody before I could leave the airport. I've been arrested in South Africa in my videos. I've been held in Kenya too and extorted. I've had my fair share of problems on my trips. Ironically, most of the problems I've ever had have all happened in Africa. And that's not to say like Africa is like a bad place or anything. It's just what it is. Traveling with a Nigerian passport across Africa is also difficult, as much as traveling across the world with a Nigerian passport is also difficult, because you get denied visas. You have labels on you. People just put labels on you. They feel like you're a criminal or something, or they just feel like you're somebody who doesn't have good intentions. But despite all these challenges, I'm thankful that I've been able to travel the world. I've been able to meet some of the most amazing people that I call family and friends today. I've been able to work with some of the biggest brands in the world. And I've also been able to, live a life that I always dreamed of. Like, just check out where I'm at. So yeah, I don't know, this is kind of like a vlog. I don't know, maybe I should start vlogging more and just talking to you guys, because I feel like most of my content is just like very serious stuff. But yeah, guys, I don't want to waste too much of your time. That's all I have to share with you today. I hope somebody learned something from this video. Also, a lot of you guys who are traveling, what are some of the tricks and tips you've been able to use to travel the world if you are a Nigerian, or if you come from a country that has a very difficult passport to travel with? What are some of the ways? Please comment below so that a lot of people out there can actually learn from you. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.